I am actually doing really well today. I'm filming this on Saturday afternoon, late afternoon actually. Again, like last week, I'm getting a really late filming session in. I was actually on the verge of not even going to film a Sitch with Me this week, but I figured I would go ahead and get one going here. I'm really, really, really set on getting this by the Bay piece done this week, so that I can focus on some other things that I really want to focus on. So I have been gung ho on working diligently and haven't really been focusing on much else other than just stitching. I did go out. The reason I'm getting a late start to the filming is that I slept in a bit today, and then I was stitching a bit this morning, and then I went jogging early afternoon. And once you go jogging, then you have to come in and get cleaned up. And then after I jog, it takes me a while to cool down. And I didn't want to start filming right away because I'm usually sweating for, I don't know, my core temperature gets really heated up after I go jogging. So it takes me a good hour to really, even after I shower, it still takes me about an hour to cool down enough before I feel comfortable to really even stitch, because I don't want to get sweat and body oils all over my stitching. So now that that is all taken care of and cleaned up, and I'm settled, I'm able to stitch. So here we are. I am working on By the Bay 13th Colony. Here is what it will look like in its completion. You can see I am just finishing up down here at the bottom. And as you can see, I have the bottom corner of the grime guard off because I'm working so close to the corners of the grime of the Q snap. This is, I believe, an 8x8 Q snap, and I'm stitching this on 46 count Rocky Mountain linen by XG Designs. So as you can see, the first part, this is one thread over two, 1/2 on the 46 count. The first part takes up pretty much the entire width of the 8x8 Q snap. So, and I have two more of these to do. So that is, I had to, but I don't want to have to reposition the entire Q snap to finish it. I'm just pulling up the the grime guard a bit and working in the corner as best as I can. I'm currently, now that I'm coming down to the conclusion here, you can see that I have the sails of the ship done in the ecru, but I have not filled in the actual boat. So I need to do that still, but I'm holding off until I get the background color of the behind the sheep done, which I also have the sheep done because they are ecru as well, because I'm basically color completing, and all of this and the heads of the sheep and the legs of the sheep are the same color. So in order to do the legs of the sheep, which are backstitch, I need to make sure I have the background of the land done first. So I'm going ahead and doing the land first, and then I'll go ahead back and finish up the 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 3371, which is the heads and legs of the sheep, the body of the ship, as well as the posts of the sail, like I don't know what they're called, the 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 posts that hold the sails up, and then there's some backstitch on the ship as well, all in 3371. So I'm really just trying to color complete so that I do not have to constantly switch back and forth between different colors. So I hope you are all having a good stitching week. Stitching, crafting, knitting, whatever your craft is. Um, oh, one more thing I was going to mention is that you're probably going to have a hard time actually seeing the stitches up close just because this is 46 count and it is it's hard to get really close with the camera, and in the position that I do my Stitch With Me's now. So at the end of the Stitch With Me video, I will try to bring the camera down closer so you can get a little bit closer of an up close view if you are interested in that. Anyways, I hope you are all having a wonderful stitching week. I know we have been having some crazy weather here again, as usual this year, and this year has been such a crazy year for weather. People keep saying about how it's getting so close, it's feeling like fall, and definitely not here in the Northeast. At least in my area. We have been having some very warm temperatures, and for September even warm nights where I've been having to run my air conditioning most of the days because it's been so humid and it's just too uncomfortable to sleep. The and not to mention all the rain we've been getting. Now, of course, we're not getting nearly the amount of rain that those in North and South Carolina are getting right now. And I hope if any of you that are hopefully will be watching here soon from that area, I hope none of you are, you know, affected too much from Hurricane Florence and that you are all safe. I believe that we will be here in New Jersey and the Mid-Atlantic will be getting the remnants of that hurricane, probably the beginning. If I'm correct, I haven't been watching too closely with this storm, but I believe the beginning of the week it'll start making a turn for the north and east, and we'll be getting the remnants of the rain because we need more rain up here in the Northeast where we are waterlogged already. But as long as it brings some less humidity, I will be happy. I I love the heat, but I'm not a fan of the humidity. It's been making my jogs outside quite challenging just because it's harder to breathe with all the humidity. So I have a question for those of you who are watching. I don't know if any of you actually can answer this question, but I currently have in my apartment, I have a washer dryer all in one. So it's one machine, but it does both washing and drying. It's an LG. But whenever I wash my clothes, they're coming out not, I mean, and I use laundry detergent and fabric softener. So, but generally like my workout clothes are not smelling as fresh as the other clothes. So is there a way, because I don't have a manual for cleaning or anything like that, and I've looked up some videos on YouTube and I've done everything that I can that I know of, and it's still not working for this. And I've tried using white vinegar in my wash cycles to help. And is there any other tips or tricks that you can provide me to help get my, workout clothes, that have, they are a little bit extra, sweaty, to be blunt, um, you know, so that they don't smell so, I guess, musty whenever they are after they're washed. Now, I will say I do not dry my shirts and shorts in the dryer. I hang dry. So I don't know if that plays a role or not, but I don't want my clothing to shrink in the dryer. So I hang all of my shirts and shorts and sweats. So if any of you have any tips or tricks, I would love to hear from you, either Instagram at Ginger Gerald Stitcher, or comments on here, and just give some, I know, give your feedback. I know I'm in a little bit of an unusual position because I know a lot of people don't have those all-in-one units. Most people have separate washers and dryers, but I was just wondering if any of you might have one of those and can give me some feedback, some tips or tricks. So that would be wonderful if you could. I've been hearing from a lot of you and seeing that many of you have been beginning to get your kits in the mail from Caroline Evertotes for her Seagull Point kit that she released, and I'm very excited to begin seeing the updates for the Stories of the North one Sal that will be, I believe, will start next week, if I am not mistaken. Officially start. But of course, I've already heard from many that are already planning on starting right away. So I'm looking forward to seeing your progress on those. I am diligently working on getting the part 2 ready to go for release, probably the beginning of October. So be on the lookout for that. I can't give you a guarantee that's when it will be released, but I'm projecting part 2 to be released around the first part of October. I'm hoping, I'm also, working hard to get some other designs ready to go. So maybe we can have a bit of a multiple design update all at one time. But definitely sometime around the first part of October, there will be a release. And I have also heard from some people that have said about how they're not able to stitch the design because it is on Aida, or because there is the 1/1 verse and the 2/2. You could potentially, I wouldn't say that is a complete limiting factor for stitching on Aida. You could just omit those sections, or you could also stitch, if you are using Aida, because those are such small sections on the pattern, you could also maybe stitch one part of that motif and just do it over on the Aida over one instead of over two. I'm sorry, you could do it regular size, just like everything else, and it just wouldn't have quite the fine detail that you wouldn't have all the elements that the regular 1/1 on 28 or 32 or even 25 would have. But also, I did that for a way that many people could have the opportunity, if you've never stitched on even weave or linen, to have that opportunity to go ahead and try it out. And it's such a small part of the design that it could be a learning opportunity for you. So again, all of my patterns are available in my Etsy store, Ginger Gerald Designs. That's all one word, Ginger Gerald Designs. It will be linked below. They are available both as a PDF download, digital download. So once you make your payment, within a few minutes, there should be an email sent to whatever email you have registered with Etsy, and then you can easily download your pattern right from Etsy, and you have your instant pattern ready to go. The other option would be that you can pay a little bit more for shipping and handling, as well as for a printed copy. And I will gladly send a hard copy to you in the mail, and I will send anywhere in the world that is. I believe I have it set up so I can send anywhere anywhere internationally, as well as domestically in the United States. And I that takes about, however long the postal service takes, and I am usually able to get the patterns out within a day, unless, I am not home at the time. But if there would be any reason that I would not be able to get the patterns out within a day, I would definitely message you on Etsy and let you know. I try to be very good about keeping open communication with all of my customers on Etsy. Sorry for my head there. Okay. So I hope you all have a wonderful week. I'm probably going to end it a little early here since it is so late in the day and I have a lot of things I need to get going here. I will go ahead and bring the camera down for a quick close-up view of the stitching. If you are interested, let me just get to a point. Actually, let me go ahead and finish out this strand of floss, or get to the end of the row, which would be, you know, a good stopping point. But I hope you are all having a wonderful weekend, and again, or week if you're watching this later in the week. And again, all of thank you for watching and commenting, liking, subscribing. You know, I love interacting with all of you on the comments, and do check my messages on Instagram regularly if you do send a message there. So I do check there regularly, and look forward to seeing the progress of the new SAL starting up on in the coming week. So please like, subscribe, and comment. And I look forward to hearing from you, especially if you have any tips and tricks on the washing machine. That would be so beneficial for me, because I am at a loss for what to do and could definitely use some help. And hopefully on Wednesday, whenever I check in for my update, I will have a finish, which I'm going to call a mini finish, because I'm doing all three as one big design, one big finish, one big project. But this part one would definitely be done. That is the plan and the goal, which I can definitely achieve before Wednesday. Ah. Go. Let me flip around, tie this off. Here we are. Okay. So with that being said, and let me go ahead and put you back up here. I hope you all have a wonderful week. I will see you on Wednesday. And don't forget to always be creative.